Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Raul Avila, along with my awesome co-host, Pastor Nate Condon. How are you doing today, Pastor Nate?
It's beautiful. The desert's warming up, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
It's getting hot now, huh?
It is, but the roads are open and less people here, and so although
yeah.
we're a resort community, it gets a little easier right now.
Yep, it is better. Less traffic for sure in
Yeah.
the Coachella Valley. So this is Father's Voice, the podcast dedicated to empowering men to embody essential qualities and values in the role of father, husband, provider, and man of God. In each of these episodes, we will chase greatness, drawing inspiration from timeless wisdom from the Bible and personal experiences from many of our awesome guests that we've had. And we've had amazing guests. I'm loving this more and more as time passes by, Pastor Nate.
Yeah.
So we're confident you're going to love this and share it and invite people to listen to this. Today we have an amazing episode with one of my good friends, man. I've known Terry Sharpe for like 14 years.
14,
Terry,
15, yeah.
I've known Terry for a long time, and I know that one thing I love about Terry is that he has a lot of wisdom. He's a hardworking man. He's not a quitter. One of the things that I notice about Terry also is the relationship with his two boys, that I've seen how he's raised two great men, and they have their own success and following in their own right.
I've heard.
Doing great. How are they doing, by the way, Terry?
Marcus is getting married November 17th of this year, so that's well on his way. And then Justin, he's doing fine. I mean, Justin is going through that season of, wow, I am an adult. The bills come in my name.
Yeah.
And I can't keep calling dad and mom. So but no, we'll get into some things, I'm sure, with them. But I've been blessed. I got good kids. Not perfect, but they are good for the most part.
So obviously, Terry, we usually will start and go back in your history. So back to your childhood, specifically in your relationship with your father or whatever that looked like. So obviously, we're going to get into your sons a little bit later on.
Okay.
But so right now, can you just sort of tell us what your relationship was with your father, say, as a child? So you were talking about pre-teens, like as a child. Did you know him? Closeness? Any stories that might convey your relationship with your father?
That relationship was basically my father was there, but he wasn't there. Okay, now here's what I mean by that. My mom and dad, they split up when I was 4 years old. They never got divorced. They just separated and kind of like went their own way.
And so you're talking about like what, Chicago, you said?
I was born and raised in Chicago.
Born and raised in Chicago. What side of Chicago?
South side,
Come
inner
on now.
city,
There you go.
all of Chirac.
There it
It
is.
wasn't, but here's the thing, it wasn't as bad as it is now back then.
Okay. And so you're talking about what, the 70s, 80s is when you're...
Late, mid 70s, early 80s.
There you go.
And then basically I was raised in the inner city up until I graduated 8th grade. And then my mom moved me out to the suburbs.
Okay.
And when she moved me there, that was a complete culture change. I went from a school that was 100%, African American
In the inner city.
in the inner city, and then we moved to the suburbs, and I went to a school that was 99% Caucasian.
Oh, wow.
And so, what I found was they got a much better quality of education just in the books. I mean, I was always a decent student when I was in the inner city, but when I got to high school, I felt like I had never went to school before. It was like
Wow.
they were already doing algebra. And geometry and all of this other stuff. So that was kind of a wake up call.
I bet. So then you knew your father up to the age 4.
I
in
knew
terms of
him
living in the home.
Yeah, in the home. To be honest, the only real memory I have of my dad is the last time I saw my mom and my dad together.
And what was
My dad was, he was an alcoholic. And he would have this thing where he would, drink, get drunk, come home, and he'd want to fight my mom. And so the last time that they had a fight, my mom, I remember at 4, she told him, she said, Bill, I love you, but if you put your hands on me again, I'm leaving.
So there's a history of domestic violence.
Yeah. It was
And how old were you at that time, Terry?
from 3 years old to 4 years old.
Oh, okay.
that was when that was, coming to fruition, when I kind of saw it. My dad used to work for American Airlines. My mom worked for Nabisco, the cookie people.
Mm-hmm.
And one night, my dad came home. They got into a big argument over she paid a bill before he wanted her to pay it, and all I know is he hit my mom, and my mom picked up a Heinz 57 ketchup bottle and cracked him over the head, and off we went.
Wow,
That was the end.
Now you have siblings as well, or are you?
I have an older brother, Ricky. He's 4 years older than I am. We have different fathers, same mother.
Gotcha.
And
he's
so,
in the home when this is happening too, though?
And he's there too. And my dad, the funny thing about that night when that happened, I know he was there because we checked into a hotel afterwards. I know he was there in the hotel. I don't remember him being there when the fight took place between my mom and my dad.
So you're not at your own home. You're actually in a hotel, or
no?
You guys leave.
The fight took place in our home, and then my
Your
mom
leaves.
stayed true to her word. I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing, Robert's Motel on 79th and Ashland in Chicago.
So your brother is an older brother or a younger brother?
He said
Older.
4 years.
Older. Okay.
He's 4 years older.
Oh, okay. So this is your dad, not
His
your
dad, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, in my dad's favor, I mean, he never treated my brother like a stepbrother.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, for a long period of time, me and my dad just had a strained relationship. But I got to give him credit for a couple of things. One of them is he took my brother in as his own.
Mm-hmm.
There was never a situation where it was like, well, I'm going to take care of mine, but yours is whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He took care of us. He took us on vacations, things of that nature.
So how do you remember that? Are you saying at 4 years old, he would take vacations afterwards still together?
Yeah, even
wow.
even afterwards,
Okay.
because he worked for the airline, so he would, we flew at a discount basically.
And he'd take
And he would take my brother, me. I know a couple of times my mom tried to go on some vacations with him, and they would end up arguing. So I think the last time we came actually out here to San Diego to SeaWorld, and when we came back, my mom was just like, okay, this is not going to work. Because they never divorced. They just separated.
But they try to work things out several times. You would.
Yeah, but my dad, he made it clear he wasn't going to stop drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom made it clear, I'm not going to deal with this.
So it was primarily alcohol abuse, no drug abuse?
No drug abuse. It was strictly
Just alcohol.
He would go get off work, get him, there at the airport, the little wine and whiskey bottles that they sell on the airplanes. Well, he'd have, his trunk was full of them. And he would just drink, go bowling, come home, argue, yell. And so...
So would you say that your father without alcohol was a decent guy, and the alcohol was sort of the thing that causes
yeah,
temperament to switch?
for sure. That's why even